the problem that I have with yesterday is that the prosecutor, the burden to prove that Mustafa threatened a correctional officer is not on Mustafa's lawyer. It's on the prosecutor.
Exactly.
I mean, the prosecutor proffered that say that Mustafa did something, threatened a correctional officer inside the jail, but she's not giving. It's her job to give the evidence that Mustafa threatened a correctional officer. It's not the lawyer's job. I find it's disturbing for Judge Weimer not to ask the prosecutor, what is your proof? Because Mustafa's defense says that Mustafa never threatened a correctional officer.
If you really think about it, Mustafa doesn't have to say anything. The burden of proof, like you say, is on the prosecutor. According to the judicial system that we live with today, you are presumed innocent. But this court, this specific court, Prince William County Circuit Court, under Judge Weimer and Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, they flipped the script. You have to prove that you're innocent in Mustafa's case. And by the way, only Mustafa's case, that you have to go in and you have to prove that you are innocent. You're not presumed innocent any longer in Mustafa's case. In Prince William County, you have to come in with evidence that you are innocent. And then judicial system doesn't work like that.
Morning, Chief.
Morning. Just grabbing a little H2O before the next briefing. You know, a lot of good conversations start right here at this cooler. Keeps the department running and hydrated. Now,
Chief, we have a problem.
what's going on?
The Mustafa brothers. One of them got into evidence storage, took the Redfield file.
You're sure?
Caught him on the cameras 10 minutes ago.
Damn it.
Detective Forrester's been trying to track him since.
You knew exactly what he wanted. Folder was gone when I came back from the
All
lab.
right, lock down the exits.
We've lost another body cam node. Pull up the feed.
Found him. It's Mustafa, brother. He has the cams.
Lock down the servers. Now!
He's already inside.
Turn. This is for you, Agent Doyle. Full clip. Don't let them bury it.
Garcia, it's Reed. I need a location on Mustafa, brother, now.
Brought him on a ride-share trace, heading south on East Street, plate ending 068.
Sending coordinates now.
Copy that. Keep the feet up.
I'm moving. Garcia, it's Reed. I need a location on Mustafa, brother, now.
The broadcast talk to me.
Rideshare just dropped him downtown. He's heading for a studio called FM Wave.
Copy that. Put eyes on the block and lock it down. Whatever you do, don't let him air that file on his podcast. Units are en route.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay?
If
they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation
we
where I will
are
have
good to
to
go.
withdraw from the case.
Are you good?
Okay.
All right. See if it switches back to you every time you talk. When you talk, does it switch back to you?
Testing. My mic's off.
Disclose that information
No, you have to talk.
All of it needs to
Testing.
be destroyed now. But if you
I think so, yeah.
disclose it
Yeah,
anyway,
yep, that's good.
it's
All
gonna
right.
put
Now
me in
it's on. Oh, maybe my headphone's not.
Oh, yeah, your headphone's not connected. All right, well, while you get your headphone connected, this is not another Bar on podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer, you are under the microscope.
We can't hear you, Amar.
There we go. I've got Casey on TikTok, Zulak. Thank you for being here. Everybody else that's tuning in, send me a request. I'll bring you back up, and we'll have a conversation. We're live on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. We have Muhammad, our host, our co-host, who is now he has his own channel on YouTube. Now he has his own channel under Unredacted Files Podcast. Tune into his channel. There's a lot of details that's coming out of his channel that are disturbing. So we have him here on our podcast. I want to thank Muhammad for being here. Muhammad, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, what we're going to talk about today is what went on in Mustafa had court yesterday, and Mustafa's lawyer filed a couple of motions. We're going to get into those details now that we have Muhammad here. It's going to be beautiful going into these details. I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share our YouTube channel on your Facebook. And if you want us to continue doing what we're doing, our channel is monetized. So you can support us directly on our YouTube channel, or you can just Cash App us directly on our Cash App, which is a beautiful name for our Cash App, Boring Podcast. Our Cash App for this channel is Boring Podcast. Support us so we can continue doing what we do. And what we do is very simple. We're exposing what the county does behind closed doors. Unfortunately, you have to reach into the county server and hack their system and get the file that they've been hiding. The Mustafa Al-Jazari case has been sealed for going over 3 years. And for 3 years, they're telling you that Mustafa is guilty, that Mustafa crashed a vehicle on purpose, that he was arguing with his girlfriend, that Mustafa is a monster. Now, when we stole the file, we found the body cams and the document and the evidence that show that the county have falsified this whole entire case. I mean, explain to me why you're going to seal off Mustafa's dash camera. Oh, that's right. Mustafa has a dash camera inside the vehicle, and it show that they lied about Mustafa, that there is no argument inside the vehicle. Wait a minute. Oh, they're passing a cigarette. That Mustafa and his girlfriend are passing back and forth a cigarette, a hemp cigarette, 6 times. Oh, they sealed off this dash camera. But thanks to us, and unfortunately for the county, we stole this dash camera and leaked it, along with the body cams and the document that show the county falsified a whole entire case. Now, yesterday, Mustafa had court, and Mustafa's lawyer had filed a bond reconsideration that the judge is going to reconsider the bond based on the evidence that is now on the table. It shows that Mustafa should get a bond. So we have Muhammad, and we're going to talk about the details. Muhammad, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I was going to say one thing that's really interesting is something that the judge said yesterday. And he said something about every time Mustafa gets a new lawyer, new information comes in. I mean, when you really think about that, whose fault is that? The prosecutor is trickling down information from one lawyer to the next. It's like the more lawyers he switches over, the more information gets released. I mean, if you look at the information that's available today to Mustafa's lawyer, it was not available to Blake Weiner. It was not available to Brad Haywood. Okay, and one of the most disturbing pieces of information that we have today is a sworn affidavit to Mustafa's arrest warrant. And the affidavit states, Robert Drum tells a magistrate that he spoke to Mustafa in person on the scene of the accident. And we know that's a lie. We know that's flat out lie.
By the way, I have the affidavit. If you want me to pull it up, let me know.
Yeah, pull it up, because he specifically says, I spoke to Mr. Mustafa Al-Jazari on the scene of the accident, and that Mustafa was allegedly out of it, that he seemed like he was on some kind of substance, or he was not fully there. I mean, you're talking about, forget that he has a concussion. Just the mere fact that he said he spoke to the defendant at the scene of the accident, and that was a lie. How could you... That's not a mistake, by the way. It's not a mistake. You don't go, after 20 years of service, you don't just go to a magistrate and say, by accident, I spoke to the defendant. It's not an accident.
Well, we know that Robert Drum never spoke to Mustafa because we have the body cams.
And we know for a fact that this affidavit was not available to the previous counsel, because otherwise they would have litigated in court. The previous lawyer would have went to the court and said, this officer flat out lied in that motion to dismiss. He would have said, you swore an oath to this statement that you spoke to Mustafa and a warrant was issued based on your sworn affidavit. And that was a lie. I mean, a judge issued to an officer, take that man's freedom away. He's been sitting in jail for 3 years based on that sworn affidavit alone. Okay. Robert Drum also swore that Mustafa never took any evasive action to avoid a vehicle accident. And we know today that was a lie.
The thing that I wouldn't say helped was there was no pre-crash information from this car. No braking, no skid marks, no drag mark, nothing. So everything was contained from AOI with the Suburban to a relatively short violent distance to the wall.
Well, we know that's a lie because we have the EDR.
The data recorder shows Mustafa was on the brake the entire time. There were skid marks from Mustafa's vehicle that Mustafa was trying to avoid an accident. And it's not until the fourth lane that the Chevy Suburban turned into him. And when you look at the Chevy Suburban's data recorder, it shows she was not paying attention. She never hit the brake in that 5-second window.
So what I have here is Mustafa's EDR. I mean, Robert Drum says Mustafa never did anything or any evasive. He said Mustafa never hit the brake and didn't do anything to avoid a vehicle accident. Well, explain to me how does Mustafa's EDR show that his foot is on the brake the whole entire time?
I mean, the reason why
trying to stop the vehicle.
The reason why I bring this up is because the judge asked yesterday, are there any changes in circumstance for him to even consider the bond? And it seemed like the judge was listening for the first couple of minutes when his attorney was making these points that Mustafa has been in jail for 3 years. He has not been in trouble. That the prosecutor lied about Mustafa's history. He's never been convicted of a crime. Any allegations that they've made were dismissed. Any allegation that the prosecutor wants to bring up that Robert Drum swore an oath that Mustafa has an abusive domestic violence history, that was a lie because Mustafa has no criminal background. He has no criminal background. Yet the prosecutor cited all that misinformation in her initial bond hearing for Mustafa. And for the judge to say, are there any changes in circumstance? Yes, judge, you just recently kicked off the lip reader. That was the reason why Mustafa was denied bond. That was the reason why he was denied bond. The prosecutor said, I proffer that I have a lip reader that's going to say that Dorothy said no empress. No. That lip reader has been kicked off the case.
The lip reader absolutely
That's a major change in circumstance.
The lip reader absolutely has been kicked off the case, and that's a major change of circumstances. Now, real quick, before we go into the details, before we move on, you said that the lawyer, Mustafa's lawyer, told Judge Weimer that Mustafa has zero criminal history, no criminal history, and she mentioned that she talked about his previous ex-girlfriend. Now, I have a CCTV video from when Mustafa was living with his ex-girlfriend.
The thing
that
is
gives you insight into who Mustafa is.
Regardless of what you have, Mustafa has never been convicted of a crime, so it's irrelevant either to even bring it up or talk about it. It's irrelevant.
But the prosecutor is bringing it up.
The prosecutor, well, here's the thing. Robert Drum said that Mustafa has an abusive relationship with Dorothy. And that is 100%. There's not even a police record that there was any domestic violence or domestic issues between Mustafa and Dorothy. Any issues that Dorothy had with domestic violence was with her previous relationships, was her ex-husband, her ex-boyfriend. Mustafa had just came into the picture. Mustafa had only known Dorothy for 3 months. So Robert Drum swore an oath, issued a warrant based on complete lies. Anything that anybody said about Dorothy having domestic issues Robert Drum took that person's name and changed it to Mustafa.
All right.
And it's easy to verify, by the way. It's
Absolutely.
very easy to verify.
Absolutely.
All you have to do is pull up Mustafa's name with Prince William County or Stafford County and see what police reports say about Mustafa. And the reality is there is none. There are no calls to Mustafa and Dorothy's relationship. There's no issues whatsoever. Yet Robert Drum had Mustafa arrested. They took away his freedom based on Robert Drum's false testimony.
Well, I'll tell you something that's real and true. Let's examine what the prosecutor is talking about. I mean, the prosecutor wants to paint Mustafa as a violent person, as a person that has a problem with his previous ex-girlfriend. So I have a CCTV video from Mustafa's apartment with his ex-girlfriend.
Look,
and in this video,
all I'm going to say is, what was the reason why Mustafa was denied bond? Let's put that on pause. Let's look at why Mustafa was denied bond.
Well,
the prosecutor proffered something very specific.
Very specific.
The last time she said that Mustafa had written correctional officers' names down. He had a list of correctional officers, right? And that Mustafa had an issue with a specific jail officer, Jessica Salas, right? Now, today, because you stole that file, we know for a fact that there are CCTV videos from that date.
Absolutely. And we're going to get into it.
Now, before you go into the video, I just want to say why Mustafa would have a list of correctional officers. Well, since that time, that prosecutor had alleged that Mustafa was making a list of correctional officers, there has been a major lawsuit that was filed in federal court in the Eastern District of Virginia. And the same officers on that list are listed as defendants in that civil lawsuit. It's a 1983 civil rights violation that was filed by Mustafa in federal court. So for the prosecutor to try to demonize someone who's taking notes on who his abusers are, it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. And the lawyer stated yesterday on the record that Mustafa is a very meticulous note taker. I mean, Mustafa worked for a law firm for 3 years in the past. Okay? He knows how to take notes. And when someone is abusing him, he's going to note it down because he knows that he's being held illegally and that his rights are being violated. And these are his abusers. He has a right to take notes so that in the future, he has the right to file a U.S. 1983 civil rights lawsuit. Okay?
Absolutely.
And the fact that a active federal lawsuit is pending today, it justifies why Mustafa has notes. It justifies why those officers are listed on his notepad.
The problem that I have with yesterday is that the prosecutor, the burden to prove that Mustafa threatened a correctional officer is not on Mustafa's lawyer. It's on the prosecutor.
Exactly.
I mean, the prosecutor proffered that Mustafa, as say that Mustafa did something, threatened a correctional officer inside the jail, but she's not given... It's her job to give the evidence that Mustafa threatened the correctional officer. It's not the lawyer's job. I find it it's disturbing for Judge Weimer not to ask the prosecutor, what is your proof? Because Mustafa's defense says that Mustafa never threatened a correctional officer.
If you really think about it, Mustafa doesn't have to say anything. The burden of proof, like you say, is on the prosecutor. According to the judicial system that we live with today, you are presumed innocent. But this court, this specific court, Prince William County Circuit Court, under Judge Weimer and Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, they flipped the script. You have to prove that you're innocent in Mustafa's case. And by the way, only Mustafa's case, that you have to go in and you have to prove that you are innocent. You're not presumed innocent any longer in Mustafa's case. In Prince William County, you have to come in with evidence that you are innocent. And then judicial system doesn't work like that.
Now, yesterday,
it doesn't work like that.
Absolutely. What we saw yesterday is Judge Weimer not holding this prosecutor accountable and asking her, the burden of proof is on you. You have to give me evidence. Instead, but I can't completely blame Judge Weimer though. I mean, Mustafa's lawyer could have yesterday told Judge Weimer, Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit CCTV video that's in Mustafa's file that show Mustafa of the incident. There's a video of the incident in Mustafa's file. Your Honor, I would like to introduce an exhibit. Well, a witness came forward, another inmate that says Mustafa did not threaten Mustafa's lawyer didn't do that. But now, do I blame her? Absolutely not. I mean, this is a new lawyer and being introduced to a case that has 5,000 exhibits.
You know, another thing I want to say is
what she could do is she can file an appeal.
Oh, 100%. Mustafa has the right to an appeal. And the fact that the judge, you know, it was just weird, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm taking notes, and the attorney, the defense attorney would say her statements, okay? And then the judge would look at the prosecutor, and the prosecutor stood there yesterday, which was very odd. She's asking the judge, I have a list of things that to counter what the defense attorney said. And then she stands there and just staring at the judge. And then she says, do you want me to go through them? And the judge is looking at her like, I mean, yeah, go ahead. Like, what are you waiting for? And then she pauses for a second. Okay. And I think I know what the prosecutor was thinking when she paused. And that was, oh shit, I forgot what I lied about a year ago. I don't know why this man should be held without bond. I don't remember what the lies specifically. And the reason why I know that is because on Mustafa's initial bond hearing, Sarah Sammy stood in court and said to a judge, and that was the reason why Mustafa was denied bond initially. She said Mustafa had crashed his car previous to this incident. In a separate incident, Mustafa had previously crashed his car and gave his passenger, someone by the name of Jason Nance, traumatic brain injury. That Mustafa had done this in the past. And since August of 2023, she has never repeated that lie again. But that day in August, Mustafa was denied bond. The judge specifically said, I'm going to deny you bond because I'm going to say that you're a danger to the community. If what the prosecutor is telling me, that you crashed your car and gave someone traumatic brain injury before this accident. Okay. Now, Jason Nance has since came forward, given a statement and said, Robert Drum, the same officer that lied, the same officer that falsified the affidavit to Mustafa's warrant, that's the same officer that we see interviewed Jason Nance, and it was a complete lie. Jason Nance specifically said, I never said that to Officer Robert Drum. I never said that to the police. And by the way, that's something that, according to Judge Weimer, Sarah Sammy should have verified before just proffering it.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do, there's a video where Jason Nance had a conversation with you that the police department and the prosecution have lied about him, that Jason Nance never said that Mustafa gave him never was in a vehicle accident, never gave him a brain injury, but it's being litigated in court, and that's why Mustafa's bond was originally denied.
Oh, man. Yeah, how you been? No, I guess I'm making do. Got a couple things going on now. I got a misdemeanor and a classic felony, so I did a little time. I had to do a little time in jail, and then thankfully my mom kind of keep track of me after a few days, and she can bail me out. And then right as I'm getting bailed out, I suffered my second seizure because you're going and taking me in. I couldn't even mention the drug that I'm on because I just started, and so then I'm without the drug for 4 days, and then I have a suffer a seizure on my way out. You know what I mean? And so I got 2 charges from that. But
how have you been?
That I can't have an answer. But yeah, but concerning the window, that's actually, but yeah, it's a little simple. But then that little spot, it didn't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know what I'm saying? That not permanently. So it was like we're here for a little while, and then it came back. So then I guess I had to open the whole window. But that's
what do you think about Moses? What's going on with him?
Yeah, that's just what I said. You know, and really, it's not my place to speak. You know, but what do you think?
It's fake. It's fake stuff. Fake allegations. I don't know if you heard, my older brother was able to get all the body cams. He was able to get all the unredacted reports. And I think they used your name in there.
Who?
Prosecutor stood in court and said Mustafa was denied bond because the prosecutor said that they're claiming, they're alleging that you told a investigator of Prince William County that Mustafa had crashed a car with you in it, and he had given you traumatic brain injury.
That's false.
That's false.
That's false for you. I don't know, false for you from your mouth,
I
one way or another. Right, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know, it's not, that account's not true.
Yeah,
some kind of way.
It's crazy. They denied him bond on August of 2023. The judge specifically denied him bond because the prosecutor stood up and said, she said, I'm not going to name the person. So at the time, we didn't have the report. She said, I'm not going to name the person, but Mustafa crashed his car previously and gave a man traumatic brain injury. Later, after getting the unredacted report, it says Jason Nance of Stafford.
Now, we're going to go over that video, but I want to slow down the conversation. And I want to go back to Mustafa's ex-girlfriend. Mustafa has zero criminal history, has no criminal history. But this prosecutor is muddying up the water. And what they've done in Mustafa's file is the main investigator says Mustafa has an extensive abusive relationship with Dorothy. Mustafa, he's mixing up the ex-husband name with Mustafa.
I mean, the ex-husband literally sent a death threat to Dorothy the night of the accident. The night before the accident, he sent her a death threat. Okay, and that is an email that was sent to Dorothy that the police have, the prosecutor have, because they have Dorothy's cell phone, that a witness also read this email. So it's not just hearsay. A witness physically read this email the night before the accident.
I mean, forget the email. It's the, if you look up the ex-husband's charges.
Well, yeah, he also has charges of stalking and
threatening to kill Dorothy.
Threatening to cause harm and death to Dorothy.
Now, Mustafa we have the Google Nest videos inside the apartment that show Mustafa has a beautiful relationship with his girlfriend, Dorothy, and the kids. It's a beautiful relationship that Mustafa has with his family.
And those videos are on his cell phone, again, that the police have and the prosecutor has, and they've just been turned over to the defense.
Mustafa has no history of violence with Dorothy. It's a beautiful relationship. Mustafa has no criminal history or violence with his previous ex-girlfriend. The prosecutor is telling Judge Weimer that, Your Honor, Mustafa is a violent person. Well, hold on. If you look up Mustafa's history, Mustafa has no criminal history. Now, what I want to do, I want to take you and everybody into Mustafa's previous relationship. I have a CCTV video from Mustafa's apartment before Mustafa left his ex-girlfriend. And let's take a look at how Mustafa interact with his girlfriend and interact with the mother of his girlfriend. In this video, what you'll see is that you'll see a mother. Mustafa, this is the mother's apartment. At the time, I believe that Mustafa lost his job, so the rent wasn't being paid, and every mother is justified to ask for the rent. As a matter of fact, she was very emotional that day. She was yelling at Mustafa and his girlfriend. But what you want to look at and what you want to pay attention to, I mean, the prosecutor is telling us that Mustafa is a violent person. Well, let's look at Mustafa's reaction and how he's interacting with the mother of his ex-girlfriend. How does Mustafa react? I mean, we're litigating, is Mustafa a danger to the community? Well, we can see what Mustafa and how Mustafa react. You see Mustafa, the way he reacts to that mother, you'll see he's telling her, let me put my shoes on. Let me get my stuff. I'm going to leave, but let me just get my stuff. And then he leaves. He collects his item, puts his shoes on, and leave. And his ex-girlfriend leave with him. Now, this mother is justified. She's asking for the rent. She's fed up. She wants the rent. Let's take a look at how Mustafa interact with that mother when that mother is violently screaming at him. And the question is Mustafa a danger to the community? Is Mustafa a violent person? And this is Mustafa's previous relationship. The prosecutor is talking about this relationship, who I remind everybody, Mustafa has no criminal history. If you go and look up Mustafa, there is no criminal history in Mustafa, and we get to see how Mustafa interact with his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his ex-girlfriend. So let's take a look.
Let's go.
Go in the house.
Please. Let's go.
Okay,
Just do this. Get out of here.
Don't touch my cigarettes
Let's
anymore,
go. Let's
okay?
go. The mom is gonna be
Get out of
I
here.
know, that's
Mom!
Don't touch my stuff.
No gonna be with this. Let's go.
Don't touch my stuff.
I told you. No. Cigarette.
No.
Cigarette in my house.
I know.
My parents.
I
It's
know.
your house.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go.
That's my house.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go to court and tell my rental assistance for
Go ahead.
That's fine. Let's go.
You see that Mustafa is putting on his shoes? You see Mustafa is telling that mother, give me a minute, let me put my shoes on. Give me a minute, let me collect my items. I'm going to leave. And that's how Mustafa, and then the girlfriend leaves with Mustafa. Is that a violent person? I mean, why do you think this prosecutor is so terrified? She has no leg to stand on in court. I remind everybody, you can verify this yourself. This is a video and we're watching how Mustafa interact with the mother of his ex-girlfriend.
And it's very similar to how he reacts when that fat guy is yelling in his face, spitting at him, okay, and how he reacted towards that situation.
You're talking about the video that went viral, and that's the video that the lawyer was talking about in court, Mustafa's lawyer.
That shows you who Mustafa is, what kind of person, what kind of personality he has. He's a very calm person, okay? He's a very de-escalating person, okay? And these videos clearly prove it, okay? Now, the prosecutor wants to proffer proffer that. You know, I just want to say something that's disturbing about the proffer process, okay? Now, when you proffer something in court, the reason that there is a proffer system in court is because when two parties agree on a specific issue, and they're not going to waste the judge's time, they're not going to waste the court's time to go through the physical evidence, they can proffer when they're both in agreement. They're both agreement. They have an agreement on what the evidence is going to show. Now, in this case, the judge has allowed the prosecutor to lie because you can proffer in order to save the court time. Okay, that's the reason why there's proffer. When both parties are in an agreement on what the evidence is going to show, and there's not even going to be a dispute between what one side thinks about the evidence than the other side. In that case, the prosecutor, the defense attorney, they're allowed to proffer to save the court time, to save the judge time from going through physical evidence. Now, in this case, every time the judge has allowed the prosecutor to proffer, and that's illegal because when you proffer something, you have to be in agreement with the other side. Okay? But in this case, every time the prosecutor was allowed to proffer, she's proffered something that was 100% in dispute with the other party. So I don't know how this prosecutor is still getting away with it today, how she's allowed to proffer when both parties are not in an agreement. I mean, the reason why you're proffering is so that the other side does not say, well, hold on, the evidence does not show that. That's the reason for proffer.
And that's where that's why we come in and say, is Judge Weimer impartial in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? Absolutely not.
He's definitely not impartial. I mean, yesterday, I want to say yesterday, when the judge told the prosecutor to go ahead and litigate what your response is to the defense attorney, go ahead and litigate it. Say it. She said, I have a list of things. And the judge says, well, go ahead. And then abruptly, the judge says, no, I'm just going to deny bond. I mean, you're going to read the transcript yourself. She was supposed to respond to what the defense attorney had just said. And then the judge, after looking at the prosecutor, looking at her face, basically saying, I don't remember my lies from the last hearing. I don't have my lies. I don't have my notes. I don't have shit. Okay? And the judge all of a sudden says, no, that's it. Denied bond. That's it. I'm not going to reconsider it. That's
I lined up with an agency that animates what's going on, that brings these people to life. I want to play that for you real quick.
It's just weird. It's just weird when the defendant does not know why he's being denied bond. When his attorney does not know why he's being denied. I mean, yesterday, I'm trying to think, why was Mustafa denied bond? And really, nobody knows. And if you don't know why you've been denied bond, you cannot formulate a defense. Therefore, you don't have a fair judicial system. This is not a fair hearing. when you don't know why you've been denied bond. There's no reason given why he was denied bond. I mean, this is a new attorney. She has new information, and she's asking the courts, why is my client still sitting in jail when I just told you that the whole narrative, the whole report was falsified? The police manufactured false probable cause to hold this man, and the judge refuses to tell us why he's holding this man in jail. It's against the law. This is not a third world country. This is the United States of America. You have a right to formulate a defense. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. A prosecutor can't just come in and, based on false reports, make up false allegations and proffer false information. You can't do that. You just can't do it.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to take you inside the court of what happened yesterday. I've lined up with an agency that beautifully bring these people to life, and the county apparently is terrified.
And I have to say, those videos are, I mean, extremely on point. They're on point.
They're based on the transcript.
So tell me why I shouldn't release Mustafa al-Jazari.
Your Honor, I have a list.
For 3 years, the state has built its case on half-truths and misdirection. The prosecution has lied repeatedly, and today it's clearer than ever. They kept Mr. al-Jazari behind bars on a story they knew couldn't stand. I urge the court...
Counselor, tell me why I shouldn't release Mustafa al-Jazari.
Your Honor, I have a list of things to say.
Go ahead.
Literally froze up.
She froze up.
Your Honor, just one moment. I thought the exhibit was right here.
Sir?
Yes, sorry, just give me a second.
She looks completely lost.
Yep.
Shit. I don't remember my lies.
Oh, shit. The prosecution does not remember the lie.
Judge Warner on the bench, and if I read that look right, he just realized he's got the wrong files.
Wait, this isn't... Where's...
Yeah.
Confused is the word. We'll keep watching to see how he undoes.
Mustafa, your bond is denied.
Denied based on what?
No one knows. No one knows why his bond was denied. Nobody knows. The prosecutor doesn't even know. She doesn't even remember what the lie was. She doesn't remember if it was the Jason Nance thing. She doesn't remember if it was the jail incident. She doesn't remember anything.
I mean, apparently, when Mustafa's lawyer filed an appeal, she has to go and appeal. I mean, replies to all of it. I mean, she literally has to read the transcript from the first bond hearing. She literally have to read every transcript for the past 3 years.
She's going to have to read up on why the judge denied him bond the last time. And even the last time, we really don't know what the judge based it on, because Blake Weiner was not allowed to bring in any evidence. Okay, if you remember correctly, Blake Weiner received CCTV footage from the jail. He received information about the statement from the witness, and then the judge said, "I'm not gonna entertain it. He's not gonna listen to it." And Blake Weiner should have appealed that decision right away, but because Mustafa's trial was within the next 2 months, Blake Weiner says, "I'm not gonna appeal it because we're gonna go to trial in 2 months. So I'm just not gonna appeal it." And the trial got extended once again. And now today we sit with a case, and we don't know why this man was denied bond.
I can pull up what Julie Carey aired that on NBC4 and what she saw happen in that court. I mean, Julie Carey on NBC4 told us that Judge Weimer denied Mustafa bond. He originally gave him a bond and then reversed his decision 7 days later based on two things: the lip reader and that Mustafa, according to the prosecutor alleged without evidence that Mustafa threatened a correctional officer. So let's listen to what Julie Carey has to tell us.
No. The look the dash cam video captures on Dorothy Fontaine's face is clearly one of fear in the seconds just before the crash.
One of fear?
Well, what do you expect? What do you expect? How would you expect a person to react when they're about to get in a car accident? What do you expect? Do you want her to be smiling? Do you want her to say cheese? I mean, you're getting into a car accident. Of course it's going to be fucking fear.
Well, I find it interesting that Julie Carey, when she's airing out this edited version of a dash camera, she's removing that Dorothy and Mustafa are literally passing a cigarette moment. If you literally rewind this dash camera, literally 20 seconds, what you're going to see is...
And Julie Carey alleges that she does not have the full video, but it's available today.
It's all over the internet.
Today it's available, and she still decides to stick to the old story, stick to the same old lies, and pretend like, oh, there's limited information. The whole entire case file is leaked all over the internet, so you can't lie about it anymore.
Let me show you. If you literally rewind this dash camera, literally 20 seconds, what you're going to see is literally Dorothy and Mustafa are passing back and forth a hemp cigarette. Based on the toxicology, this is a hemp cigarette. And you see that Dorothy feels Mustafa's fingers when she takes that cigarette. That hemp cigarette, is passed back and forth between Mustafa and Dorothy 6 times. Now, this is moments, literally 20 seconds before Julie Carey is telling us a look of fear, and she's telling they're arguing inside the vehicle. Wait a minute. Are you taking Julie Carey with NBC4? Are you taking Mustafa's dash camera out of context? Are you? Well,
100%.
100%. If you literally rewind this dash camera 20 seconds, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. So how could you tell us they're arguing? You cut this dash camera. And if you want to tell us that the prosecutor didn't give it to you, well, now it's all over the internet. Why are you not updating the story? Let's watch what Julie Carey is telling us all over NBC4.
No.
The look the dash cam video captures on Dorothy Fontaine's face is clearly one of fear in the seconds just before the crash. Her 5-year-old daughter, Empress, seated just behind her. The prosecutor telling the judge today a lip reader has analyzed the silent video and determined Fontaine is saying, no, Empress is in the car, as the vehicle veers left and into oncoming traffic. That was just one piece of evidence the prosecution presented to try to convince the judge that Mustafa al-Jazeera is too dangerous to be given bond, arguing, quote, this is no different than a situation where you have someone shooting and killing 2 people. He used his vehicle as a weapon on April 5th, 2023 that resulted in the murder of 2 individuals.
Now we know. We just saw. If you literally rewind this dash camera, literally 20 seconds, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are actually passing a cigarette. So there is no argument inside the vehicle.
If you rewind it another minute, he's at the gas station washing his car for 10 minutes. He's giving Empress, the 5-year-old, candy. Okay, he's buying cigarettes. He's filling up gas. So the narrative that this man planned on crashing his car, it just falls apart.
It falls apart because details keep coming up out of this case that the police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle and they found brake failure.
And we find out that there's no audio to this dash cam is because Chad Mason admits on the stand in October of 2024 that he tampered with the dash cam and it was not his job, violating chain of custody for the dash cam. And today they all of a sudden want to say, oh, there's no audio. Well, why did you not document that this dash cam did not have audio from day one? Why is it nowhere written on any of the police report? And the real reason is this dash cam does in fact have audio.
So we're litigating a dash camera that the officer
cut the audio,
cut and removed and cut the dash camera before impact. So that's what we're watching. Now, pieces of evidence keep coming up where the police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle and found brake failure. So not only are they passing back and forth a hemp cigarette inside the vehicle, that show there is no argument. Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time, and the police themselves inspect the vehicle and find brake failure. I want to take you to a body cam.
They admit to brake failure.
I want to take you.
I wonder why Julie Carey is not reporting on the fact that this car had brake failure, according to the police. But they buried that statement. They buried it. They sealed it so that no one can have access to it. But thanks to you, you stole that file. So now we see what police found when they inspected Mustafa's car, and they found brake failure.
And the question is,
that explains why when he's on the brake the entire time, the car would not stop. It's right there in the file.
This is a body cam where the police inspect Mustafa's vehicle and find brake failure. They find the front passenger and the back passenger brake caliper does not engage, doesn't work. So Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time, and the vehicle would not stop. So what we're going to do, we're going to watch this body cam, and we're going to go into Mustafa's EDR the ACM, and it shows that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. And the question is, where is Julie Carey? I mean, we just watched Julie Carey talk about Mustafa and why Mustafa was denied bond and what the police department are telling us. This is a leaked file, and so far, Julie Carey, who was sitting in court yesterday, has not updated this community that there is brake failure.
Brake didn't engage.
Brake did not engage. Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time, and the vehicle would not stop because there is brake failure. This is Mustafa's EDR.
And then they document it. They say that there is brake failure, and they can't determine what the cause of the failure is. So they conceal his car, they conceal that report, and any expert that so far has gone up to the county, they've blocked them from inspecting the car. They've blocked them from getting the original data recorder information.
Well, unfortunately for them, I have the EDR, the data inside the vehicle, and it shows that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. Let's zoom in. This is Mustafa's foot on the brake the whole entire time.
I mean, that's crazy.
Did the investigator lie in his affidavit? What did he say in his affidavit? That Mustafa
took no evasive action to avoid an accident. I mean, what action do you expect other than hitting the brake and steering out of the way? What do you expect? And the truth is, no matter what Mustafa could have done that day, nothing was going to satisfy Drum, because they're going to find him guilty no matter what. Whether his blood is clean, whether he tried to avoid an accident, they're going to have to find him guilty no matter what. They've already condemned him guilty the moment they arrived on scene. I mean, the craziest thing is there's so much misconduct in this case. I mean, there's so much. Every piece of information, every piece of evidence that you look at has either been tampered with by police, they violated department policy, and the prosecutor is clearly covering up for misconduct. I mean, every step of the way. Witnesses tampered with by Drum. I mean, an officer literally telling witnesses, this is what I need you to say. Robert Drum swore an oath to a magistrate that 6 witnesses saw this car accident take place. They saw it. And then you look at the body cam, and every single witness out of those 6 witnesses, they all said, we never saw the car accident. We never saw it.
You know, I'll tell you something.
Every one of those 6.
I'll tell you something that's really interesting. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy in court told Judge Weimer that she has 6 witnesses, and all 6 witnesses are saying that Mustafa crashed the vehicle into oncoming traffic on purpose. Now, the body cam have been leaked, and all 6 witnesses,
they flat out
say we didn't see anything.
We didn't see it. We did not see it.
That's on body cam. Now, the bigger problem for Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, there's another witness that actually tell you that Mustafa cleared all the vehicle, made it to the 4th lane, and the SUV turned into Mustafa into the 4th lane. Now, hold on. You're charging Mustafa with murder. You're telling us that he crashed on purpose. We just watched a body cam that Mustafa's brake did not work. His foot is on the brake the whole entire time. And you're telling me that a witness says that Mustafa made it to the 4th lane, avoiding every vehicle in an SUV turned into Mustafa? But you, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, sealed that file. Let's watch. Why don't we watch the body cam with the witness that says Mustafa made it all the way to the 4th lane?
I mean, yesterday she was talking about her civilian witnesses no longer want to testify. Well, I mean, if somebody told me, the police told me, you can go in and say whatever you want on this case. I've sealed your initial statement. I've sealed it, so no one has access to it. We need you to get this guy off the street. When you go into trial, I need you to say that you saw this accident, even though you said you didn't see it initially. I've sealed that part. No one has access to it. Okay? If that witness today knows that their initial statement where they said, I never saw the accident, is gone public, I mean, they can't come in anymore. Why would you even need that person to come in if they can't lie anymore for you?
Let's watch what the witness has to say.
It's not surprising that these so-called witnesses don't want to come in and testify. Well,
can I get
you exposed their initial statement.
Can I get a phone number for you, sir?
Yeah, it's 571
389-4540. I'll let you work on that. Can I talk to you for a quick second over here? Can you just tell me what you saw?
Yeah, so the Chrysler over there was coming this way.
Which way? Sorry.
Coming this direction. We were going this direction. We had the green light. This car was in front of me. And I saw the Chrysler just randomly. He wasn't even in the turn lane. He just darted over directly in front of this car. Okay. And so she slammed him. I guess he made it far enough over that it hit the right.
He made it far enough over, and she slammed him. He made it all the way into the fourth lane, and she turned into him. You know, I'll tell you, the main investigator, I have a body cam that's sealed, that's now has been leaked. Robert Drum, what does Robert Drum say? He says the same exact thing.
He said the only way this car accident could make sense and why Mustafa's vehicle rotated is because she turned into him, and she slammed the rear passenger side of his car. That's the only way Mustafa's car could spin 3 times before going to the sidewalk, because she slammed the rear side of it.
Let's listen to what this witness has to say one more time. I want to listen to it one more time.
Darted over directly in front of this car. Okay. And so she slammed him. I guess he made it far enough over that it hit the right side. So she slammed him. I guess he made it far enough over that it hit the right side.
So the witness is telling you that Mustafa made it into the fourth lane and the SUV turned into Mustafa into the fourth lane. Let's watch what Robert Drum, the main investigator, on a sealed body cam, tell us about how the accident happened.
What'd you think, police? Trying to find where they spun. Because the damage is on the right, which caused them to flip that way. So, and then it finally broke off with soup. So that's her. They're coming in sideways. Gets popped, rotates. And she just rolls backwards. So here's the question: which way did they? Because she comes straight, she hits. She would have turned into it.
She would have turned into him. The female SUV driver. She would have had to turn into him. Let's listen to that one more time.
Because she comes straight, she hits. She would have turned into it.
Now, you've got the witness. You've got the main investigator. Are all telling you that Mustafa cleared into the fourth lane. That the SUV turned into Mustafa. The SUV that her ADR show that she's over the speed limit, never hit the gas. She's on cruise control. And she's on some medication that she's not supposed to be driving. And she has a bunch of beads that are blocking her. She turned into the fourth lane and slammed into Mustafa. That's what the witness is telling you. That's what the main investigator is telling you. Now, we just heard the witness that the prosecutor is pretending doesn't exist. We've heard the main investigator that the prosecutor is sealing off his body cam when he's telling us how the accident happened. We just watched a body cam where the police inspected Mustafa's vehicle and they found a brake failure. We just saw the EDR, the computer inside Mustafa's vehicle, that showed Mustafa's foot is on a brake the whole entire time. And the vehicle would not stop. This is Mustafa's toxicology that show Mustafa, no alcohol and no drugs in his system. And what they're actually smoking inside the vehicle, and this is the foundation of the whole entire case, that it's a hemp cigarette and there is no argument. They want to tell you they're arguing inside the vehicle, but we see that Mustafa and Dorsey are passing back and forth a hemp cigarette.
And you can see the initial warrants that were issued were all DUI warrants because the police were hoping that Mustafa was going to be under the influence. And when that blood work came back clean, they all of a sudden decided to switch up the narrative. Now we can't get him on DUI. We have to get him for something else. So what do? They began coaching witnesses. They began telling people, we need you to get this guy off the street. Initially, it was all DUIs. Okay, that was the theory of the police, that this guy is under the influence. It's got to be DUI. Let's get his blood illegally They got his blood. They tested it. It was clean. So let's switch up the narrative. I mean,
this is literally a toxicology that we're looking at that shows no alcohol, blood alcohol non-detected, THC 0.003. No alcohol and no drugs in his system. And what they're smoking inside the vehicle, what they're passing back and forth, is a hemp cigarette. Dorothy, Mustafa's girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, has cancer and she smokes hemp. And that's what we see in the dash camera. They're passing back and forth. Based on the toxicology report, they're passing back and forth a hemp cigarette. And this is the foundation of the whole entire case. They're telling you that the police are telling you they're arguing inside the vehicle, but they seal off the dash camera. And then when we actually watch the full dash camera, moments before the accident, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette, a hemp cigarette. And I go back to the dash camera where literally Mustafa and Dorothy is, I mean, the way she grabs Mustafa's fingers when she takes that cigarette, she feels Mustafa's fingers. But Julie Carey wants to tell you that they're arguing inside the vehicle. She cuts the portion where they're passing back and forth a cigarette, and she tells you they're arguing inside the vehicle. I mean, let's watch what Julie Carey is telling us about Mustafa now that we watched the dash camera, the part that they cut. Literally, if you remove it 20 seconds, we watched the cigarette being passed back and forth between Mustafa. Clearly, there is no argument. We saw the computer inside the vehicle that shows Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. The police inspected Mustafa's vehicle and found brake failure. The main investigator is telling you that Mustafa did everything he can. He made it to the fourth lane, avoiding an accident, and the SUV turned into Mustafa. The witness is telling you on body cam the same thing, that Mustafa made it to the fourth lane, avoiding an accident, and the SUV turned into Mustafa. Now let's watch what Julie Carey is telling us why Judge Weimer denied Mustafa a bond. What is it, last year?
Yeah,
sometime
2024.
2024. May of 2024. And is Julie Carey being honest about what's going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? Or is she actively helping the police department lie about Mustafa? And the question is, if she's not, and she's honestly misled or doesn't have all the information, now there is a leak file, why is she not updating the community?
She can verify the information today.
It's on the record.
Yeah.
Mustafa's lawyer yesterday put it on the record. Let's watch what Julie Carey is telling us about what's going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case and why the judge denied Mustafa May of 2024.
New at 5 tonight, a Prince William County judge has changed his mind about giving bond to a man charged with murder for a crash that killed his girlfriend and her little girl.
Prosecutors came to court armed with new details about the crime to persuade the judge to revoke the bond he set just last week. Only on 4, Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey reports prosecutors even hired a lip reader to figure out
a lip reader that now has been kicked off the case.
What the alleged victim was saying on silent dash cam video just before the face.
Silent dash camera because the officer that handled Mustafa's dash camera,
Chad Mason,
said, I violated the chain of custody. I took possession of the dash camera, and today, without a warrant, and today we have a dash camera that has no audio and is cut before impact and has 17 frames missing from inside the vehicle. And digital forensics says, actually, there is audio.
And he said in court that the prosecutor told him there's no audio, even though he's the one that had the dash camera for 4 hours, tampering with it for 4 hours without a warrant, violating department policy and violating chain of custody.
So let me just
and the prosecutor tells him,
I'm in my office. I'm in my office as a prosecutor. An officer that's handling the dash camera without a warrant.
I have the dash camera. I'm Chad Mason. I have the dash camera. And I'm going to call you, and you're going to instruct me.
Whatever you fucking do,
there's no audio.
Make sure
there's no audio
to remove the fucking audio.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay. If they get destroyed. disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay.